Introducing Petey.The.Snake, Petey's mother, and their neighbor, Mrs. Potts, presenting EquiTheater. Listen very carefully to the tale of Petey.The.Snake. Petey was a snake, only so big. Petey lived in a pit with his mother. One day, Petey was hissing in the pit when his mother said, "Petey, don't hiss in the pit. Go outside the pit to hiss." So Petey went outside of the pit to hiss. Petey was hissing all around the pit when he finally leaned over and hissed in the pit. Petey's mother heard Petey hissing in the pit and said, "Petey, if you must hiss in a pit, go over to Mrs. Potts' pit and hiss in her pit." Petey went over to Mrs. Potts' pit to hiss in her pit, but Mrs. Potts was not at home, so he hissed in her pit anyway. While Petey was hissing in Mrs. Potts' pit, Mrs. Potts came home and found Petey hissing in her pit. She said, "Petey, if you must hiss in the pit, don't hiss in my pit. Go to your own pit to hiss." This made Petey very sad, and he cried all the way home. When Petey got home, his mother saw him crying and said, "Petey, what's the matter?" Petey said, "I went over to Mrs. Potts' pit to hiss in her pit, but Mrs. Potts was not at home, so I hissed in her pit anyway. Mrs. Potts came home and found me hissing in her pit and said, 'Petey, if you must hiss in a pit, go to your own pit to hiss. Don't hiss in my pit.' This made Petey's mother very angry, and she said, 'Why, that mean old lady, I knew Mrs. Potts when she didn't have a pit to hiss in.'"